And we are live. Let me just go to here, photo on top, new screen recording, and there we go. Let's pull up AMC price action, and let's create a pop-out chart. Well, I guess before we do that, let's just dive in and do some technical analysis, see what we're looking at here. Okay, so it looks like here, since this point, it looks like we've got a higher low, or a higher high established on this wedge that we're in right here. Wait. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's actually right. Let me keep zooming in here. 30 minute, 15 minute. Yeah, okay, 10 minute, looking good, okay, 5 minutes, still looking good right there, because yeah, we shouldn't be close to that wedge yet, and on the 1 minute, it's weird that it looks like that on the 1 minute. Let's just zoom out to the 5 minute. All right. That. Oh, here we go. Fixed itself on the 1 minute. All right. Okay, so what are we working with? Okay, so we broke out of this downtrend. We went up, and we were in a downward channel. We're up again, down, and it looks like we just broke out of this downward channel, and we were heading back up. So if we zoom into this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes into this upward trend. Let's see if there's something a bit bigger. Looks like we're establishing higher lows from this point to right here, and we'll extend this all the way out to where we hit the wedge. All right. All right, looks like we got 2 viewers right here. Welcome. I've got a Discord link at the top of the chat there, so if you guys want to talk, we can just hop onto the general voice channel there and do stuff there. All right, Mike, I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name. I don't want to butcher it out of respect. So appreciate the Modest Wealth Management sheet. Thanks. So I'm glad you like it. I'm actually not done with it. I do have a bunch of plans with the what I'm going to rename it as just the Wealth Planner in general. Everything we've got checked off of this list here is what the sheet currently has. What we have on the horizon for that is right now it's only able to help you track your profits from a single stock. Eventually, I want to turn it into to where you can track your capital using multiple stocks. So that'll be really cool. And then a term position toggle, that's just a small thing. Budget planner integration, and then and right now it also only it only assumes that you have a single trust to plan out your dividends. Eventually I'm going to build it out so you can divide it into multiple trusts if you need to, if you want to like establish a trust for yourself, and then like maybe a trust for your kids, stuff like that. That way you can track the dividends there. And The only other big things that we got is, looks like I've got a budget planner integration planned and a portfolio manager integration planned. So so I've got a few different sheets that are essentially, they're going to be turning into applications because I'm going to be utilizing code in all of them. And each one of these are going to, or not the options visualizer, but the portfolio manager, the wealth planner, and the budget planner. These are all going to integrate with each other. So essentially we'll have just a big mega app for just managing finances in general. So it'll be really cool. All right. So, all right, looks like we are up to 3 viewers. Hello. Okay, so currently what we're looking at right now for price action is we are, this is the 1 minute chart for the entire day. This is the start of the day. This is the day close. We bounced off of 39.71 and we are setting higher lows as we head up to the top of this wedge. And this wedge is pretty significant because this is a multi-day wedge that started back when we had our big run up on the second. So when we do make a big breakout from this wedge, probably sometime tomorrow, that's going to have, it's going to move violently, either up or down. I'm betting it's going to move up because this is a bull flag and or a bull pennant, sorry, bull pennant, and those typically tend to break upwards. Mike would recommend the Vertex 42 debt snowball sheet. Change the debt outlook. Is Vertex 42 debt snowball sheet? Is that something I can like search on Google? I'm not familiar with what that is. Debt reduction snowball calculator, Vertex 42. Oh, cool. Yeah, I can definitely, we can definitely plug that in there. So let me just throw that onto the debt snowball reduction. Yeah, okay. That's a really good point because to do that. So yeah, I'll add that onto here. So debt snowball calculator. Debt snowball calculator. And I'll put a link there so I don't forget where that's coming from. That's a really good suggestion, Mike. I think that's going to help a lot of people when we add that. So, all right. I don't want to leave that site quite yet. Okay, Mike. XXX ape. So damn student loans won't be paid unless we hit those 5-figure levels. Yeah, I feel you, Mike. If I'm currently holding 4 figures in shares, and if we can get it, yeah, and I'm definitely holding until at least like the mid to high 5 figures, because if we can get it to that, I can retire. So that's what I'm looking at there, and then I can do this full time and help out everybody instead of having to spend my time at a job I don't like. So, all right. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, so if we're gonna move to the sheet, so yeah, this is what we're looking at for the day. Let me move back to the 1 minute here. Webull doesn't like to save where my stuff is, because yeah, this line's definitely on the wrong trajectory. So let me see if I move out of the chart into the chart. Nah, maybe if I just keep switching back and forth, it'll like it. Go to the 2 minute, then the 1 minute. Maybe if I come over here, come back. Yeah, okay, there we go. I just have to scroll over, scroll back. There we go. Okay, so now let's add a separate chart widget, bring it out here so we can see it while we work on other stuff and we can multitask. That's the one thing that I find really interesting about the common streamers like Trey and Matt. Like they like Weeble can do so much, and well, I guess all they're really doing is covering price action. Like I'm multitasking with all this. It's a bit more tricky. I love those guys though. Like they're my favorites. So let's see. Okay, so we'll just keep price and now Google. There we go. Okay, so if any of you were watching yesterday when Astro came on, he had some really good ideas with the open call interest. And I'm actually going to expand this out. So actually I need to do this first. Make this one bigger. All right, and let's fill this with our main black. And this comes here, and now that is the same size. Oh, come on. And can I order this? Grid lines and ticks, chart area. Okay, yeah, I need to move this out a little bit so I can grab this chart. Move it over out to here. And that'll work. Yeah, I can just need to get this on top. All right, and oh, come on. What did I do? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, there we are. Move this down to there. And let's overlay this. Okay. Bring this up to the top there. And this should all, the axes titles should all line up pretty nice when I have this perfect. Okay. Very interesting. It's barely readable, but I can't get rid of these. So actually, maybe what we'll do is we have our snippet, but we'll actually make our dashboard more simple. So let me actually change this back so I can see what I'm working with. All right, and we have a fourth viewer here. Welcome, welcome to the show. And for anybody that's joined that hasn't heard, I've got a Discord link for this pinned at the top of the chat. So feel free to join if you just want to talk or you want to contribute. Then feel free to join the Discord and we'll have a chat. So, all right, just want to make sure that. Okay, so it looks like we broke down. Maybe we're coming back up. All right. Okay. So let's take this. Oh, that was the cell I was actually in. I need to open this up. The chart style background color is our black, and let's see the chart and axis title. So this chart title is this is our dashboard. So we know this is open call so open call interest volume versus, or not versus necessarily, but volume and cumulative percent jump. And if you guys got questions about what I'm doing, either here in the spreadsheets with any code you see me doing, or if you want me to focus on the stock, like well, you'll hear me say this all the time. Like we're all in the car together. I'm just the one that's driving, and I've just got kind of like a default destination that I'm going towards. But if you want to have us drive somewhere else, let me know, and we'll go where you want to go. We're pretty small group here, so we can steer the conversation wherever interests you. So, all right. So open call interest volume and cumulative percent jump, and then the chart subtitle here is for expiration on Friday, June 11th of 2021. Let's go to the horizontal axis title. Horizontal axis title is the strike. And the vertical axis title, and it's vertical left. So the vertical axis title is, let's see, that one would be volume. And since that is the same there, we actually need to change the color of this to match. Okay, back to chart and axis titles, right vertical axis title, and that is the cumulative percent jump that we're looking at there. And volume percent jump. Yep, I think we're good. Okay, series. I don't think I need to change anything there. I can move this back to the middle. We need to expand this out a little bit, right? Or no, I just need to shrink the chart itself so we can actually see those price points. And shrink it this way. There we go. And a cumulative percent jump. We can, oh, come on. We can shift that over there, make it look pretty. All right, and we can add grid lines back into this. So major grid lines, grid line color, we're gonna go with our dark black. Minor grid lines also, dark black, why can't I see them? Is that the wrong black? Okay, that's weird. Grid line. Oh, that's for the right vertical axis. I need to go to the vertical axis. There we go. Right, here we are. Go to our light black and light black. Okay, that'll be very easy for us to read and look through. Okay. Come on, give us a bounce. Zoom into this. Yeah, we want to get a bounce off this trend right here. I'm not sure why it's. Do I need to like do this same kind of thing? Yeah, I think I do. Oh, I know what it is. Chart settings. And I need to show extended hours, and then my lines should fix themselves on this small one. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right. Yep. Looks like we got a perfect bounce off of the trend line, so we're still setting higher lows. This is great. Okay. And we got 10 minutes left. So we'll see where it takes us. Hopefully, what I'm hoping for is that we can just get a really good attack and end in the yellow zone, which would be the yellow zone here. Let me go to the 15-minute here. The yellow zone is just where, well, would it be where we ended yesterday? 42.59, or previous close 49.34. Okay, so yeah, we closed at the top of this yellow zone yesterday. So if we stayed within this Fibonacci zone that was established on, these Fibonacci zones were established on the 3rd, because everything we've been doing has been trading inside of this range. And so that's what we're looking at there. And let me turn auto off. So yeah, if we can make a big attack and end back inside of the yellow zone, then I would consider that a day of sideways consolidation. But that's what I'm hoping for. But we'll see what happens. The trend line that we're currently on wouldn't put us there for a good while. Let me expand this out to here, because that's what we'd actually be looking at. All right. Okay, so this is open call interest contracts for expiration tomorrow. All right, so we have options, calls. Oh, so what I wanted to do with this is, before, in order to populate this sheet with options for AMC, or really for any symbol, I had the symbol defined on the same sheet as the dashboard. But I want to keep things as clean as possible, so I actually moved the symbol where the code grabs whatever's here, whether it's AMC or something else, and populates the options sheet. And what I want to do is make it so that I don't have to go to this sheet in order to change this symbol. And so this will be some new stuff with Google Sheets that I'll be learning along with you guys. So it will be really fun to see what we can do with it. So if we go to the code here, we have a file, and Google Apps Script does support HTML files, which implies that we can essentially build our own user interface overlaid on top of Google Sheets, and that's kind of what I'm going for here. So let's just call this file test.html for now. And I just really need I've never done this before, so I'm just doing a Google search, Google Apps Script custom pop-up, dialogues and sidebars. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Yeah. Okay. It's dialogues and sidebars in Google Workspace documents. I don't want documents. User interfaces, create and serve HTML. All right, the HTML service lets you serve web pages that can interact with server-side AppScript functions. It is particularly useful for building web apps or adding custom user interfaces in Google Docs, Sheets, and Forms. That's exactly what I want. You can even use it to generate the body of an email. Create HTML files. Oh, that's something I could have used at a couple jobs ago. Create HTML files in the new editor. To add an HTML file to your AppScript project, use the following steps. Open the AppScript editor at the left, click Add a File plus HTML. We have done that, and this is where we're at right now. Let me see how small I can collapse this, because if I can just go through this side by side with what we're working on, then we can multitask even better. Perfect. Okay, so let's go to the code. All right, within the HTML file, you can write most standard HTML, CSS, and client-side JavaScript. The page will be served as HTML5, although some advanced features of HTML5 are not available, as explained in restrictions. We'll probably want to see what those are. Your file can also include template scriptlets that are processed on the server before the page is sent to the user, similar to PHP, as explained in the section on templated HTML. Serve HTML as a web app. To create a web app within the HTML service, your code must do a doGet function that tells the script how to serve the page. The function must return an HTML output object as shown in this example. So code.js, function doGet, return HTML service, create HTML output from file index. And this is our, okay, got it. So let's do a new script file, and we'll call this serve HTML. We'll rename this function, or doGet is what they want. doGet, and I can just copy this whole thing. Copy code sample, let's do it. Dark code thing, I wish it would do it for the whole page. Okay. And from file, serve HTML, because we just replace whatever was in the example with the actual, we want to with test HTML. That's what we want. Yep, okay. Once that basic framework is in place, all you have to do is save a version of your script, then deploy your script as a web app. Okay, so let's figure out what those are. After the script is deployed as a web app, you can also choose to embed it in a Google site. That's pretty cool. All right, HTML service restrictions. So iframe stuff, that makes sense. Okay, so not too many restrictions. Versions. In the new AppScript integrated development environment, or IDE, and that's what this is. This is the IDE. Versions are automatically created when you create new deployments and deploy. To learn more about creating deployments and versions in the new IDE, see create and manage deployments. Is that what this is? Web apps. Create and manage deployments. Deploy your script as a web app. Okay. If you build a user interface for a script, you can publish the script as a web app. For example, a script that lets users schedule appointments with members of a support team would be best presented as a web app so that users can access it directly from their browsers. Both standalone scripts and scripts bound to Google Workspace applications can be turned into web apps so long as they meet the requirements below. Requirements for web apps. A script can be published as a web app if it meets these requirements. It contains a doGet or a doPost function. The function returns an HTML service, HTML output object, or content service text output object. All right, we are really close to the end of today. Let's zoom in here. We just want to stay above this ascending level of support. All right, we got about a minute left in the game. All right, MW79 joined our Discord. Welcome, welcome. And MW79, I'm going, or that's probably Mike, I'm guessing that's you, it's your initials. I'm gonna hop in the general channel, so if you want to chat, I'll just be there. Or, yeah, the general voice channel. That's interesting. 22, 28. I'm seeing two different candles here. We'll see if something updates. All right, the game is over for today. Looks like we closed at 42.79. If it doesn't update like Webull usually does in a few minutes. That is a decrease of 13.28% from yesterday's close. Volume for the day was 220.11 million shares. Today's intraday high was 51.45, which happened right here. Or wait, no, 51.40. Wait, yeah, everything's within here. So 51.45 for the high. Today's low was 39.71, and in the big picture, we are still looking at this being in a wedge here. This is still above where the lowest point was inside of this bull pennant. So it extended the time frame of where the pennant will come to a close. But looking at this here, this is a particular pattern. So let me move these boxes over to tomorrow. So since we are trading in this bottom channel now, if we have a sideways day of trading, then this Fibonacci zone between this green line and this green line, I would consider this a day of sideways trading if we ended there. And then anything above that would definitely be an improvement. So this will be green. And then that is the 100% mark. If we break out of this wedge, this bottom edge of the pennant still has room to keep moving down until the angle from this. Oh, yeah. If we were to break out of this Fibonacci level, then that would definitely establish us in a new trend. So, and if we were to break under that, the next big level of support we would likely be looking at would be this 35.60 level. So let me put a horizontal line there. 35.74. Let me make sure that's snapped to it as well. There we go. So 35.60. And then let's come back over here. Turn off the auto. Come here. So 35.60. So I would consider moving this red box. Anything below this base Fibonacci level and above here, I think that's where we might end. I think we would expect to see some really strong support there, as I'm hoping that people would see that as a major, essentially a signal like, hey, like this thing is on discount. I'm hoping we don't get to there. I'm hoping that we just keep going up, of course, but that's kind of what we're looking at for tomorrow. So now that we have that out of the way, I saw something peculiar here. So this looks pretty steady. Oh, that was a horizontal line. Did not mean to do that. Do a trend line. So we are looking at that. 35.60. Let me change this color to green, and I'm going, yeah, it's just a solid green color there. And this one, I'm going to make red, and I'm going to put an arrow at the end of it. Okay. So that is, so yeah, this is actually, but compared to this run up, we actually might be able to consider this massive, massive multi-day bull flag, because it's actually really, and this is actually a good sign for us, because it means that like they haven't been able to break out of this this support line right here. So I guess this should actually be green, because this is support, since it's below on the other side of the flag, and we don't want this to get any, we don't want this to come out to here. So it's really good that we've been able to keep them here instead of having them push us on a steeper trajectory downward. Because we are also nearing pretty much the bottom of this, I think we can expect to see a violent move upwards. That's at least what I'm really hoping for. But time will tell, and we will see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this is what we have in the purple here. Let me zoom out to the 30. This is the overall trend, and to just show you how much of a bull pennant this is, I'll zoom out to the 1 hour. So here is your massive, here's your massive flagpole, and then this is your pennant right here, and we'll probably break upwards out of that. I'm curious now to see where this could run to. So if we're looking at this as a bull flag inside of the bull pennant, here's your flagpole and here's your flag. Let's run a Fibonacci extension to see how high it could go if this actually ended up being the bottom of the flag. So to run a Fibonacci extension, we start at the bottom of the flagpole, run up to the top of the flagpole, which would be right here, and then we run it down to the bottom of the flag, or where we think the bottom of the flag is going to be. And this gives us an idea of the levels of resistance that we can expect to run into when we do break out of the bull flag and expect to make a run up. So something to consider here is that the top of this yellow zone, where this Fibonacci retracement level is, also lines up right around the same area with Fibonacci extension level. And so we'll probably need a considerable amount of volume to break upwards out of that. Then if we can get volume to break out of that, then we'll probably run right past 47 and make a retest of 49.25, where we also have the Fibonacci retracement level and the Fibonacci extension level really close to each other. I'm guessing that with a violent rip, we'd probably break above it, come back down, consolidate underneath it before we get another push of volume. And beyond that, we don't have any of the retracement levels and extension levels lining up like we do right here and right here. So after that, I think it'd be smooth sailing to just keep continuing upward. So that's what I think we're looking at there. I'm going to keep these drawings on the chart as we watch the after hours action. All right. Okay, so function do get, where were we here? Function returns an HTML service, request parameters. When a user visits an app or a program, sends the app an HTTP GET request. AppScripts runs the function doGet. When a program sends the app an HTTP POST request, apps runs doPost instead. In both cases, the event argument represents an event parameter that can contain information about any request parameters. The structure of the event object is shown in the table below. So we have the eQuery string, the eParameter, parameters, context path, content length, post data. Okay, doGet return. In the above example, doGet e returns the following output. It's the query string. Okay. Deploy a script as a web app. That's what I'm looking for. New editor. At the top right of the script project, click Deploy, New Deployment. Next to select Type, click Enable Deployment Types, Web App. Enter the information about your web app in the fields under Deployment Configuration. Click Deploy. Embedding your web app in Google Sites. Apps and browser history. I want to go back to this main thing. This is what I want actually. Serve HTML as a Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, or Forms user interface. The HTML service can display a dialog or sidebar in Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, or Forms if your script is container bound to the file, which it would be. In Google Forms, custom user interfaces are only visible to an editor who opens the form to modify it, not to a user who opens the form to respond, and I've actually worked with that specific use case before. Unlike a web app, a script that creates a user interface for a document, spreadsheet, or form does not need a doGet function specifically, and you do not need to save a version of your script or deploy it. Instead, the function that opens the user interface must pass your HTML file as an HTML output object to the show modal dialog or show sidebar methods of the UI object for the active document, form, or spreadsheet. These examples include a few extra features for convenience. The onOpen function creates a custom menu that makes it easy to open the interface, and the button in the HTML file invokes a special close method of the Google Script Host API to close the interface. Okay. And then open dialog. Okay. Open dialog. Okay. I see where this is going. So let me copy this. And I'm going to replace that. Use this code for Google Docs, Slides, Forms, or Sheets. We already have an onOpen function, actually. So, open dialog. Let's just, let's see, well, what does open dialog do? It serves the HTML. So, well, I don't want to make it overcomplicated, so yeah, let me actually just delete this file and put it into our onOpen file. So onOpen, add item, refresh options, get options, and actually I just want it to open the dialog when we refresh our options. Open dialog will then set a new variable called HTML, which uses the HTML service to create an HTML output from file, and our HTML files are test, so we call that test. We leave out the .html. Then we call the spreadsheet application, which is a built-in object. We don't have to get that from anywhere. It's just part of the environment. And we get the user interface, .getUI, or document app, or slides, or form app, but we are already working in spreadsheet, so this is good. And then, and by the way, whenever you see stuff like this, it might as well all be changed together. When you have a period following a closing parenthesis, It's all supposed to be in one line, but if you just add it to the next line, it makes it a bit more readable, and it makes it easier to track what's being done in what order. So we have our show modal dialog here. And then show modal dialog will take the HTML, which is derived from here, and call it dialog title. So I'm interested in exactly what show modal dialog does. So I want to look at the documentation for that. Let me duplicate this, come to here, and I want to go to the reference, Google Workspace Services, spreadsheet app, and I want to find the getUI method. GetUI, and it returns, so let's come down to here. It returns an instance of the spreadsheet's user interface environment. That's what we want to look at. And now we want to look at UI show modal dialog and see exactly what that is expecting for us to pass in. Show modal dialog. Modalist dialog. Okay, well, yeah, we'll just stick with this. So, show modal dialog opens a modal dialog box in the user's editor with custom client-side content. This method does not suspend the server-side script while the dialog is open. To communicate with the server-side script, the client-side component must make asynchronous callbacks using the Google Script API for HTML service. To close the dialog programmatically, call googlescript.host.close on the client side of an HTML service web app. For more information, see Guide to Dialogues and Sidebars. Modal dialogs prevent the user from interacting with anything other than the dialog. By contrast, modalist dialogs and sidebars let the user interact with the editor. In almost all cases, a modal dialog or sidebar is a better choice than a modalist dialog. And actually, I want a modalist dialog because that's something that we should be fine to do in our application. Show modalist dialog. All right, so what this so parameters, the user interface itself, which is the HTML file, the HTML output, and then the title of the dialog overrides any title set by calling setTitle on the user interface object. So just the title of our dialog. So this would be test title, or just test. Let's call it that. Or even better, let's do AMC to the moon. That'll be fun. All right. Okay. Well, we're climbing back up. That looks good. All right, next. So note that the first time you want this to display this user interface, you must either run the onOpen function. Wait, okay, gotcha. So I see what it's doing. So now at this point, really all we should need to do is just work with the HTML here. Okay, so it's been a while since I've actually worked with raw HTML. So let's run a test. So div AMC or where Lambo. Right, let's save that. And we don't need to run a deployment, but we do need to close this sheet and reopen it. Editors can now see your view history. Activity dashboard makes working together easier by showing view history. Oh, view history. That's nice. That's a nice feature. Okay, dashboard. Let's come to here. And now let's go to utilities, refresh options, and this should serve us something. This should do something. Wait, did we actually change that? I want to make sure. Where's our code? Oh, our code got closed because we closed the sheet. So come to tools, script editor, and on open, yep, it'll just run open dialog. That's all it'll do. It's not gonna make an API hit. So let's see what this does. Authorization required. A script attached to this document needs your permission to run, which the first time that you're running scripts that are sensitive to user data, then you need to authorize permission. So this is completely expected since this is the first time that we're running this function. So let's hit continue. Choose this account. See, edit, create, and delete your spreadsheets. Connect to an external service. Display and run the third-party web content and prompts and blah, blah, blah. Allow. All right. Let's see what it does now. Did it do anything? Just in case, let me get rid of all this extra space. We can add it in later if we need more space. It's not a problem. And let's try that again. Cool, look at that. Web page inside of a web page. Isn't that awesome? That's cool. So, and yes, this can be dragged to wherever. Close and, oh, that's really cool. That's neat. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's neat. All right. Okay. Oh. Okay. Class UI. That's just the documentation. All right. So back to our test HTML, and what we want to do is what symbols, or enter symbols that you want to get options data for. And now we're going to have an input. All right. And HTML input. HTML input tag. I want to make sure I have all the proper attributes. Here we go. Autocomplete, autofocus, checked, name, disabled, form. Max length, let's have max length. Max length equals, we'll make it 255. Let's see, multiple. Name, pattern, placeholder. All right, placeholder, read only. Let's actually add a placeholder, yeah. So we have a placeholder, and our placeholder is just going to be an example of Apple, comma, MSFT, comma, Apple, MSFT, Tesla. There we go. Or, yep, that'll work. Okay, placeholder, read only, required. This is definitely required. Size is the number. The source specifies the URL of image to use as a submit button only for if the type is image. Step type, here we go. So type is equal to, this is just going to be a text type. Alright, specifies the value. And width. Okay, but now I just need an ID for this. And the ID for this is going to be symbols. Alright. Okay. So let's save that, come back to here, utilities, refresh options, AMC to the moon, enter symbols that you want to get options data for, and here we go. Okay, sweet. That's awesome. Let's see, now we need a submit button. For that, it's actually, I don't like wrapping. So put that all there. And now we are going to have HTML form. It's all part of a form. Oh, and there's even labels. Okay, yeah, that's right. Man, it has been a while. We have label for, and the label is for symbols, and instead of the ID is symbols, but the name is also name symbols. Okay, and this is all going to be wrapped inside of a form with the label. Yep. Form action, and it's going to run get options.js. And actually, we're just going to say test.js, just in case. And then input, this all gets wrapped inside of a closing form tag. Okay. There we go. And then all this gets indented over one to show that it's inside the form. And we need a test.js. A file with this name already exists. Ah, that's right. So let's call this submit then. Submit.js. Change this to submit. Make it match the name. And submit.js runs function has a function my function, and it's going to and what this is going to do is it's going to console log test. That's what it's going to do. Console log test. And then we declare it, and then we call it my function. This is a script file, just straight up. Straight up. All right. Okay. is this? Okay. Alrighty, let's come back to here and let's retest. Well, our input is missing, so that's not good. One input and then input type submit. Maybe it's not complete without the submit. Okay, so let's save that. Refresh options. Malformed HTML content. Why? Because is there an extra space there? Is that what I'm seeing? Oh, I bet that it's because I have this on a different line and it doesn't like it. Let's try that. Still doesn't like it. Malformed HTML content. What are we missing? That tag checks out HTML. We have a closing HTML tag there. We have the head, closing head, because we didn't change any of this anyways. Body tag. Body tag is closed completely. If we take out the entire form, does it still like it? Utilities, refresh options. Okay, so it's something inside the form itself. So we have a form. Let's get rid of everything inside the form and run it. Okay, it was okay with that. So now it's just these different elements inside. So let's get rid of everything but the label. Save. Refresh. Okay, it's okay with that. As it did not like something about our text. Oh, there it is. Found it. We were missing a closing quotation mark. There we go. All right, and now when this submits, please fill out. Oh, the field is required. So submit. And at that point, we should now have something logged. Executions. Test. There we go. That's cool. Uh-oh. It's running it every time. It's running it on initiation. That's not cool. So why is it doing that? So it's running action every time. So I need to look up the HTML form tag. Alright, action specifies where to send the form data when a form is submitted. prevent HTML form action from running on render. Stack Overflow. I have a form that has a submit button in it somewhere. However, I would like to somehow catch the submit event and prevent it from occurring. Is there some way I can do this? That is not the problem I'm running into. On submit. So maybe not action, but on submit. I don't think that worked. Form on submit return false. That doesn't answer my question though. Come on, people. Am I not just understanding the form tag? Form tag is used to create an HTML form for user input. Let's see. Attributes, accept. Specifies the character encodings that are used for the form submission action. I want to learn more about this. The action attribute. The action attribute specifies where to send form data when the form is submitted. URL. But that doesn't explain why it is running immediately when it's being rendered. Try it myself. So let's try submit.js, and in submit.js, instead of test, run console log e, because that will be event. That should, because that should just well, we'll see what happens. And so it ran it's here. That's what I'm looking for. What the heck am I, what am I missing? What am I missing? PHP tutorial. Maybe this will help. Nope. Because we'll just have a script. HTML script tag. Okay, yeah, I think I can do this without a form. So, oh, nice green can, come on. Yes, keep going up. That's what I want to see. All right, so outside the body, we'll have a script tag, closing script tag, and the script itself. Source specifies the URL of an external script file. So can I just have that open and closing tag like that? No, I've run into issues with that before. You gotta have them well defined. Opening tag and closing tag, and we'll do the same thing with the input here. So you keep things nice and clean. Okay, script URL is equal to, or source is equal to, it's equal to submit GS. And so the form won't have it, and on submit, return false. Action, return false, and then for this tab, I'll actually change this to a button, and the input value, actually, is there just there's a button tag, I'm pretty sure, right? HTML button, HTML button tag, there we go, cool. All right, button, and the button is submit, button tag there, and then on click, it is going to run. We are loading submit GS, so on click, that's CSS. Let's see, I want to see event attributes. I want to see on click. Where is it? On click. Okay, cool. So function should be loaded. So let's call this my function. On click, my function. Let's try it ourselves to see what it does. Okay. So my function should be past the event, if I'm not mistaken. All right. That's a log. I was clicked. save that, come back to this, close that out, come to our executions, and utilities, refresh options, Apple, and we should have, we do have a new execution, open dialog. No logs are available for this execution. That is, oh, no, it ran it. That's not good. Oh, the reason why it ran it was because if you come back to the code, my function, it gets called immediately. Okay, so let's try this again. So now that's saved, come back to executions, close that out, refresh options. Now let's check executions. There should be no logs. Okay, no logs. Now, if we enter this in and hit submit, nothing new. Well, yeah, let's try, let's essentially just try doing this. Yeah, we'll put this directly inside the script. Test.html. And so this is the script. We'll get rid of the source for now. Okay, and then the script has a function, my function, which does this. And script tag there. There we go. Well, except get element by ID demo, and we'll put that. Let's put that there. We don't need the form anymore since we're not using it. And at the bottom of the body, we will put a new div with an ID called demo, so it has something to attach to. All right, let's try this. Refresh options. Okay, great. That works. Now, let's see if this works by moving it into submit.js. And we can literally, okay. I think I know how we can hack this. So, the script up there, turn that source to submit.js. And now in submit.js, we're going to have an event, the inner HTML instead of hello world. Actually, no, we're going a step too far. We just got to test to see if that works first. So let's close that. Rerun, refresh options, malformed content. What didn't it like? What are we missing? What are we missing? Oh, equal sign. There we go. Dismiss, utilities, refresh. Okay, so it does not like doing side loading. Okay, so we've got to put everything in line with the script. That's gross, but it's workable. So let's move this back out, and we actually don't need submit GS anymore. So everything's just going to be right in here, and that's okay. All right, well, let's see if my function has an event. Saving the project. Utilities, refresh options, APPL, submit, undefined. Okay, well, this this isn't a problem. Yeah, we just have to do things old school here. So this is going to be submit, and this function is going to be called submit. And then, how do you pass an event through on click? I'm curious. Well, all right. I think so, because we've got everything we can do here. So enter HTML, just to make sure. Let's make this document get element by ID and demo, and set the inner HTML to document.get element by ID of symbols and its value. Let's see what this does. Utilities, refresh options, Apple, submit. There it is. That's what we want. Okay, we're cooking now. We're cooking. All right. So here, this would be this would be tickers is equal to this dot value. Okay, so we got tickers, and I do want to make sure that we have the proper, that's form action. I want HTML input tag, and there was a pattern. There we go. Pattern. Pattern attribute specifies a regular expression that the input's element value is checked against on form submission. That's the tricky thing. Okay, so I've just, for validation, I've just got to work through, do that custom. That's gross. Okay, so we have tickers. And tickers. So no numbers are allowed. So I need to, actually, I'm gonna do this. Tab back out to here. Collapse that as much as possible. Move these next to each other. And I want to get regular reg expression cheat sheet. Okay, here we go. So now I want to go to developer, Mozilla.org, the guide. Okay, so no numbers is equal to regular expression, cheat sheet. Matches any digit equivalent to 0 through 9, for example. Okay, so numerals. And this would be front /D. So no numerals and uppercase is something we also want to check for. Feed, vertical tab, form feed, backspace. Capital. Upper. Case? No. Let's Google it then. So, regex. Uppercase. All uppercase letters. Multiple words include the space between the words as an allowed character. Any white space character, not just spaces. Let's see, I want payment only. What's the solution? To some extent, there's going to be vary by the flavor of regex you're using. Basically, though, if the terms always contain at least one uppercase letter followed by at least one number, you can use those for all uppercase and numbers. Actually, I want to check for lowercase. Regex lowercase. Only allow lowercase letters. That's what I want. Okay. So, invalid. The expression is caret. Brackets, A through Z, 0 through 9, / minus, and then plus $. I wonder what all that means, so let's go to our cheat sheet. Syntax cheat sheet, creating a regular expression. All right. Okay. So our caret. Oh, shoot. I was going to, I missed my 2 o'clock standpoint. And let's see. I'm just checking something real quick for my other job. All right, so I have a meeting that's supposed to be happening at 3 o'clock. It shouldn't last longer than like 5 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to leave the chart up here for you guys to watch. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna turn the shutter off on my camera, and so I'll have some privacy during the meeting, and I'll be back as soon as that is complete. So. should be hearing should be able to hear me again. I'm seeing that the stream's still going. I accidentally pushed stop streaming on my handling on my encoding software, and I wasn't sure if that would automatically end the stream here on YouTube, but it doesn't look like it did. So yeah, we're just gonna keep going, pick up where we left off. All right. Okay, so let me join the voice channel on Discord again. Okay, we are back. Let's head back to here. All right, so this matches the beginning of input. If the multi-line flag is set to true, also matches immediately after a line break character. For example, does not match the A in an A, but it does match the first A in an A. So that's actually what I don't want, because I want all. I want to check for all. Oh, this character has a different meaning when it appears at the start of a group. So, negated when it's inside of a group. Okay, no, so yeah, I actually don't want that there. That's interesting, okay. A through Z, so matches the end of input. For example, $T$ does not match the T here, but does match the T and E. Yeah, I don't want that either. What is the plus? The plus character. Here we go. Let's see, matches the preceding item for X, one or more items, equivalent to, for example, A plus matches the A in candy and all the A's in candy, so I do want that. Yes, I do want that. That is what I want. Okay, and that's just an escaped for the minus sign there. Okay. So no numbers, no lowercase letters, and yeah, that's really all I'm looking for not valid stuff. So, so what we are going to do here is invalid. Why did I do that? I want to put that back up. Oh, and it looks like we had somebody join. Hello. Welcome to the stream. We are just watching AMC After Hours Price Action. Follow here, and they're gone. Let's see if they come back. Okay. So for this, I want regex. Nope, not uppercase, I just want MDN. Regular expressions. Actually do want regex. And then we should be able to use, I think, a test is what it's called. Instance properties, instance methods. Compile, test. Test for a match in its string parameter. So we have a regex and regex test string. And so this variable will be is invalid. And this one would be invalid dot invalid regex and test, and we're going to test tickers. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do document get element by ID, demo, and set inner HTML equal to a string which is going to be invalid, and then the results of is invalid. Alright, let's save there. And let's come to here, close utilities, refresh options, APPL, submit. It is not invalid, that's good. And, but if we have Apple, that should be invalid. Okay, cool. What if we do Apple Microsoft? Still true. Apple Microsoft. False. That passes, that checks out. What if we end with a comma? If we end with a comma, I actually want that to fail. So I need to adjust the regular expression. Regular expressions chapter. Okay. And I want to get to the cheat sheet, so regexp mdn cheat sheet. Here we go. And also want to test if it's just this at the end. Okay. We run refresh options. Apple is invalid. This should say true, but it doesn't. Let's try that. Okay. Need to close this. Utilities, refresh options, APPL, false. This should say true, and it doesn't. What am I missing? So let's take that because we know that works. Comment this out for now, and now we will just work with comma. If it includes a comma, then it will return true for invalid. Apple, MSFT, this should return true. True, okay. And this should still return true. This should return false. This should return true. Okay, that works. But now let's adjust this to just if it ends, if it's the last thing inside of the string. So now let's close, refresh options, Apple, this should return false. This should return false. This should return true. Okay, and that works. So, is there a way we can combine those regular expressions? How do we combine two different things? groups and ranges, or, okay. So what we want here is we want the or symbol, and then dollars, and then comma $sign, uncomment, save, close, refresh, apple. This should return false. This should return true. This should return false. This should return true. Okay, I think we got it. So, invalid, true. Okay. And so yep, that's what I want, is invalid. So I'm done with the regular expressions. And now I want to do input HTML input error, client-side form validation. Pattern belongs to the element, so I actually might be able to just put this on the pattern. And let's see. I just put this, it's HTML input pattern. Ooh, yes. Okay, give me an example. Specifying a pattern. Okay. So I essentially want the opposite of this entire thing. Would I be able to wrap all of this inside of that and negate the entire thing? Oh, no, because it has to be inside the group. That's right. So I don't know if it's invalid. Okay, so I just need to go back to the cheat sheet, I guess. Oh boy. Regular expressions. Cheat sheet, here we go. Named capturing group. Oh, that's a parenthesis. A group. Okay, so yeah, I just need to do that entire thing, so, oh geez. This is tricky. Regular expressions are one of the hardest things to work with. Oh boy. Because what I do want it to match, so valid regex, what I want that to match is I want it to match capital letters A through Z. A through Z, and I want it to allow commas and spaces. Matches a single white space character. A through Z, space, comma, space. That's what I want it to match, and I want this pattern to repeat. So let's give this a go. Where's the pattern? Come on. Built-in form validation, examples. Source code, pattern, there we go. Okay, so I don't think the pattern just needs to be this. All right, let's close, refresh. Oh, okay, but acquired attribute, validating against a regular expression. No useful validation of the pattern attribute, which expects a regular expression as its value. Regular expressions, a pattern that can be used to match character combinations and text strings, so they're ideal for form validation and serve a variety of other uses. Many more possibilities. Let's implement an example. Update your HTML to add a pattern attribute like this. This gives us a following update. Orange. Okay. Orange. Let's see. It won't work. Okay, cool. So all right, so now we just need to add CSS into there. Okay. CSS. And CSS body, but where do you embed it inside of the HTML? I forget. Styles. HTML styles tag. Oh, yep, there we go. Okay, so it goes after the head, above the body. Style. Closing style tag. And for the style, for input invalid, we want to do border red solid 3 pixels. Let's give that a go. pattern detected it as, okay, let's come back to this, and for the pattern, let's take that out. All right, guys, I gotta end my stream right now, so thanks for sticking with me.